you can come in as well. You're not the stepson. Here you go. Thank you.
You know what? Je hebt heel wolken.
Thank you. So.
Spray insectverbranding with 20 extract% diesel.
Okay.
Back to work.
Back to work again. That's the second round.
How many rounds are there?
About 4, because then we have the lunch at around 2 o'clock. That is mainly for the staff, not for me. I don't have time for that. Then 5 o'clock I have another coffee. Then I prepare dinner for ourselves, and then I prepare dinner for all the animals again. So that will be 11 by the time I'm finished.
So what's now? What do we do now?
I'm going on with the feeding now, the morning round feeding. Which...
I'll go with you.
Okay.
Let's go.
So,
I close the
yeah,
door?
if you close, Sadie, go in, say. That's it.
See you later, boys. See you later. Stay. Bye. Keep an eye on my tripod.
I won't touch it anyway.
There we go.
So, now the next bit is the porter cabin, because like the hay shed has been totally fattened. So when we go to the porter cabin where I have a litter of puppies, this is the puppy food.
Will you also please bring the vet then and see what time they
Yeah, I'll give them a bus.
You do it earlier, you have more chance that it will be
Yeah, I
fitted
will.
in.
I will do that.
There we go.
I missed the dishwashing. No, that's still
Oh,
hot.
don't worry, the dishwashing goes on forever.
There's a plastic bag just for the hair.
That's a steady supply of dirty dishes there.
Usually we have
Where do you get the food from?
The food is all coming from, well, it actually comes from various places. Like obviously there is a lot of food being donated to us, which is fantastic. Because that cuts down the cost of running the sanctuary, obviously. And then we still have to buy the specialized food, so like puppy food, special dietary foods that some dogs need. Like I have one dog with that has, what do you call it, an overactive immune system. Now this dog is on a food that is totally without any animal proteins. So he's kind of, say, a vegan dog, right? If you were to get any animal proteins, which happens by accident a couple of weeks ago, that one of our volunteers gave him a treat where there was some animal protein in it. He totally crashed. He had to go to the vet straight away, was put on a drip for 2 days, and like his whole bowel system was totally gone haywire, and he had mightily diarrhea. And like this dog has been, for instance, on antibiotics all its life, on a dose that is even bigger than any human would get.
someone wants to donate food, what would be the best food to
Well,
donate?
we always say whatever you do, if you want to donate food, and we cannot be choosers, because any food that we get, we gratefully accept. But if they ask us specifically what kind of brand would you prefer, I would say there are 4 fantastic good brands. The Rolls Royce under the dog food would be, for instance, Royal Canin. Then you have Burns, Eukanuba, Hill Science Plan is a very good one. Now, 50% of what we make in the big tub, now this is the big tub, 50% of that is extremely good food, and we top that up with food of a lesser quality. Quite often the donated food is food that is got from a supermarket, and that food is like you and I eating McDonald's every day. Eventually could lead to serious illnesses. Could be the liver, could be kidneys, because there is some salt in some foods, you know, and like that's not great. So you try to minimize the intake of the lesser quality food. It's always like this. If you go for an extremely good food, it's horribly expensive, but what you put in is what you get out in health. So the more you spend on your dog food, quite often the better health your dogs will get. Shinier coat.
And what about things like meat, like raw meat? Do people bring?
Yeah, some people have dogs on a raw meat diet. I'm not personally in favor of that, for a few reasons. Well, for starters, in a sanctuary you could never do that, because quite often there is more than one dog sharing a kennel. If you put raw meat in there, the chances of them fighting over that is much bigger than dishing out a bowl with dry kibble, right? It's simply because the protein content of raw meat is much higher than of the processed food, so to say. A dog should get protein of around, say, between 18 and 22%, depending on the breed. The more active the dog or the breed, the higher the protein, or the lower the protein should be, just to suppress the high activity of the dog. So the more laid back a dog is, the higher the protein can be. Not necessarily so, because dogs with an extremely low metabolism cannot get high protein either, because they would grow very fat, like the little Chihuahua in the living room. He's mightily fat. Now he's on a very strict diet. He only gets about 25 little nuts and a tiny bit of chicken. Now chicken is high protein, but like you like your gravy over your dinner as well. And I think dogs are exactly the same. You can give them the dry nuts and they could survive on that, but they love their gravy over their food as well. So
they're like humans.
They are, obviously, they are. If you had to choose between a bowl of porridge every day and a plate of very nice cheeses, for instance, I bet you'd go for the plate of cheeses instead of the bowl of porridge. I would anyway.
So you would prefer that people donate dry food or canned food?
Dry food and wet food is absolutely all welcome, because like we go through about a ton of dry food every month and around 700–800 kilos of wet food every month. So like we do use all. That's the way it is. And the more we get donated, well, the lower the outlay for ourselves would be, which means that that money can be used in another part for the sanctuary. For instance, for upgrading the kennels, which is always necessary. Maintenance is so important, because you can well imagine that being the kennels being occupied all the time, the wear and tear is humongously big. So you have to upgrade, maintain, replace on a very regular basis. Now, you cannot always do that because the money isn't always there. So like, yeah, food is very important, and like if people want to donate in a monetary sense, that's always very welcome as well, because then we can say, okay, we do that for a special project. For instance, the far yard. There is one part of the kennels that needs to be replaced urgently. Well, the money is not quite there yet, but we will have to replace that sooner or later, because otherwise that whole kennel block will kind of disintegrate, fall apart. So that has to be done as quickly as possible. We need money for that, and like, yeah, we can only hope that the money will come in. So if people want to donate money towards that project, it would be extremely welcome.
And how, if somebody doesn't have money to donate, how can they help?
They can volunteer.
To do what?
Well, for instance, if there are people that are very good carpenters, they could help make repairing the crates. If they are bricklayers, they could help making the new kennel block, because there is walls to be put up between every single dog kennel. Then companies might be interested in maybe donating a few of the panels, the mesh panels. There are so many ways that people can help.
And if I'm a good carpenter, but I don't have money to buy you the material,
well, then we will have to supply you the materials, obviously, but there again, you would need money for buying them. So again, it comes down to money. If money comes in, we can do all those things. If it doesn't come in, we can't.
And what if I have a pile of good material at home?
That can be used, obviously. Obviously, that's another thing that could always be helped, and that would help very much.
I saw one day somebody gave Helena a bed for a dog.
Yeah,
that's
well,
welcome.
Obviously, dog beds are always welcome, because we go through a lot. Dogs can be quite destructive. There are a couple of dogs that use at least 4 or 5 dog beds every year, because they start chewing them, and they drag them around from inside to outside part of the kennels, and then the wear and tear is humongous, obviously. So we have to replace them on a very regular basis as well.
You work away.
Okay, yeah, I have to, because like otherwise things won't get done. Now I need to wash one bowl, because the one that I am
How many bowls you have to wash?
well, I don't have to wash that many bowls myself. Helena does all the washing up. Thank God. Yeah, Helena washes about 200, 250, 260 bowls every single day. And the way it normally works is, as you can see over there, it's first they are being soaked when they come in dirty. They're being soaked. After being soaked, then they are going to be washed with a disinfectant, not only washing up liquid, but also a very strong disinfectant called Anistel we use. that kills all the bacteria and viruses that would may be present on the dirty balls. After that, they are going to be rinsed, and once the balls are rinsed, they're dripped off till they are dry, and then we can use them again. So this one is done now. That is.
You almost need some kind of industrial dishwasher.
Yeah, but that doesn't really work. We have tried that with the dishwasher. We had once a dishwasher, and it doesn't take enough stuff, and it takes too long, and it takes far too much water as well. Because like nowadays you have to conserve the water as well. So those dishwashers do use an awful lot of water.
Can I have the half amount bowl, please?
And since, yes you can.
Thank you.
And since our government has started charging for water tax and all that, well, people have to be very clever and start reducing the amount of water they use. Okay, so that is for those little puppies outside, where we will be going in a minute. This is for a basset hound in the porter cabin. His name is Baloo. And Baloo was actually surrendered to us by a gentleman or a couple that went back to their home country. They went back to Hungary, I think it was. And they couldn't afford to bring the dog, they said. So Baloo came to us. He's a basset hound that's 11 months old.
What did you just mix in there?
That is some chicken. Like our dogs, the majority of the dogs always get a little bit of chicken. Simply because they love it, you know. That's the gravy on their dish.
And it's not that expensive these days, no?
Well, you have to do it, you know. Like, let's be honest. We try to do the best for the animals in our care.
What about things like eggs?
Yeah, we do use quite a few eggs as well, because we have ducks and hens, and they are good layers. So we use quite a bit of them. Nothing goes lost here anyway. Nothing that will not be used. Okay, now I have to think for a second, because by all the talking I have forgotten where I am. Puppies, Baloo, Lucy, and then we get...
Have you ever had food running out? Have you ever had food running out?
No. Like, we always have a stockpile of food here, and we always have a couple of tons of dog food, just in case, like we are high up here, especially in winter, you can get isolated because of snowfall. So we always have to have a big stockpile in case we were isolated. So we always have enough for a couple of months.
Is that rice?
That is indeed rice, and we give that to them because the rice will give them quite a firm stool. Again, that is because the cheaper dog food quite obviously can give them a softer stool. We like the stool to be as firm as possible because it's easier cleaning. And rice has that quality that it will definitely firm up the stool. And that is being overcooked, obvious, because otherwise they can't digest it. So that's that. Now I have to
So if Helen has to wash 200 or so dishes, you have to make 200 or so dishes?
No, I don't have to make 200 dishes because that is dog and cats together. Now I only make the dog dishes, right? But still, the dog dishes is roughly about 105 at the moment. maybe 105, 106, whatever. Anyways, I do that, but the majority of them are being fed twice daily. So I still do make a lot of food. Okay, now this dog is getting some medication in it because that is for a very old German Shepherd. She is arthritic, so she gets an anti-inflammatory and painkiller through the food called Rumacan. The same goes for Willis. He is the old Newfoundland, and Willis is very easy with taking this medication. I don't have to put it through the food. Willis, can you give me your mouth? Okay, good boy, come on. That's it, good man. So you see, Willis is so used to, he's on that medication for years now. And he knows the drill. When I come with the syringe, quite often he opens his mouth already. He's a cute man. Okay, so this pile is made now, that goes to the porter cabin.
Let's go.
Oh, my puppies are inside again. Little Lucy is outside now. Okay, then we don't have to keep the puppies. Oh, I forgot to put the medication through. I'll be back in a second. I'll have to put some medication through. And the puppies, hello puppies, my little puppies. Oh, that is nice. That is nice.
Silence.
Hmm?
Silence.
Silence, they're eating. That means they are enjoying the grub. I did a good job again.
So what now?
Then I'm going to make the food for the Cersei building, the new building. And there are mainly small dogs in there.
I saw like a plank on the wall dedicated to somebody.
That is right, yeah. That is the kennel block. We call that the sheep handling. That kennel block was erected because two ladies who passed away left us a bequest. And with that money we were able to build that kennel block. And like out of obviously respect for the ladies, we put up the plaque that it was erected because of the passing of those two ladies.
Sweet of them.
Extremely nice. They were long-time supporters of Ash.
Hello, boys. Hello. It's okay, it's only a camera. These two weren't here before.
They were, if they're not here, they're out in the room. A few times a day they go out to the exercise room.
And what's happening here? Wow.
But
Thank you very much for watching this YouTube video. Please like it and share it with your friends.